In the early 1900s, Samuel Pierpont Langley had a $50,000 grant from the War Department, a dream team of Harvard minds, and the press following his every move. He was the ultimate favorite to invent the first powered airplane, armed with every ingredient you would assume guarantees success. A few hundred miles away in Dayton, Ohio, Orville and Wilbur Wright were working out of a bicycle shop. They had no government grants, no high-level connections, and not a single person on their team had a college education. The difference between the two camps came down to their underlying motivations. Langley saw the airplane as a ticket to the kind of prestige held by Thomas Edison or Alexander Graham Bell. The Wright brothers were consumed by the scientific problem of balance in flight, believing that if they could master it, they would provide the world with a utility that changed how everyone lived. This sense of purpose dictated how they handled adversity. The Wright brothers crashed test flights day after day, willingly bringing 5 sets of spare parts to every session. When they finally took to the sky on December 17, 1903, Langley didn't study their design. He simply quit the business because he was no longer first. You see this same dynamic playing out in modern markets. When TiVo launched, they had a product that let you pause live television, but their marketing focused purely on the machine's features. People didn't buy it. Having superior technology is useless if the public doesn't understand the conviction behind it. Apple took a different path. When Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak started the company, they operated on a rebel ideology. They saw the personal computer as a way for a single individual to take on a massive, established corporation. Apple sold a challenge to the status quo. They attracted customers who shared that spirit, creating a bond that allowed the company to disrupt the music, mobile phone, and entertainment industries over the following decades. Communicating why an organization exists provides a context for the product. That belief helps bridge the gap between a new idea and a loyal following, allowing a company to survive early failure. When an organization projects an authentic belief, it acts like a magnet. It specifically attracts the people who share those values, while filtering out those who are only looking for a transaction. When Ernest Shackleton recruited for his Antarctic expedition, he didn't promise glory. His notice offered meager wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, and a doubtful safe return. By being explicit about the hardship, Shackleton repelled the opportunists. He found a crew with the exact resilience required to survive for months on the ice after their ship, the Endurance, was crushed. In the summer of 1963, 250,000 people descended on Washington, D.C. The organizers didn't send a physical invitation, and there was no website to coordinate the date. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke about a dream that reflected the internal values of the people in that crowd. They stood in the heat for themselves, using the rally as a way to prove what they already believed about their country. To move a crowd, however, you need organization. Ralph Abernathy worked alongside Dr. King, providing the logistical structure the movement required. He told people the specific steps to take, like exactly which buses to avoid, to make the abstract vision a reality. We see this in business as well. Southwest Airlines built a following by championing the common man, making air travel simple and accessible. Years later, Delta and United launched spin-offs, Song and Ted, to copy Southwest's pricing. Both failed because they mimicked the mechanics without the underlying conviction. A compelling belief gathers a following, but it only survives the long term when it is paired with consistent, practical execution. As organizations grow, scaling can hide the original purpose that made them successful. In this phase, known as the split, the pressure of volume can disconnect a company from its founding values. Sam Walton built Walmart to serve rural towns that were ignored by larger retailers. After he passed away, the corporation focused purely on the low prices he had used as a tool. Without his original community-first anchor, the company became embroiled in labor scandals and public backlash. Costco's Jim Sinegal faced those same pressures of scale. He maintained his focus by anchoring his decisions to the company's purpose, prioritizing employee wages and benefits, even when shareholders demanded he cut costs to match competitors. When a core belief is firmly anchored, leaders can operate in the most toxic industries. Executives like Gordon Bethune in aviation and Christina Harbridge in debt collection were able to use trust and compassion to outperform rivals who relied on intimidation. The most human proof of this is Ben Coman, a high school runner with cerebral palsy. The act of running was physically exhausting for him, and he reliably finishes last in every single race he enters. Yet his teammates, having already finished their own races, consistently walk back out onto the course. They run the final stretch alongside him until he crosses the line. Ben's struggle shows that when a goal is about self-competition rather than defeating others, it draws people in. Leadership is the act of projecting a belief so authentic that others feel a personal stake in helping you reach the finish line.